welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. I'm about ready to hit the road and check out the new horror film Barbarian. It's directed by Zach Cregger and is starring Georgina Campbell, Justin Long, and Bill Skarsgård. Bill Skarsgård's in it, so it's already got a plus for it in the horror movie category if you ask me. Now, I'm a little concerned about this film by the trailer. I honestly don't think this movie looks all that great. It looks like it's going to be filled with a lot of horror tropes and just a lot of typical BS. So basically, the story goes as such, as from what I can tell from the trailer. So a woman shows up at an Airbnb that she's rented, and wouldn't you know it, Bill Skarsgård's there. Now, there's already a problem. You have a Airbnb that's double booked and the other person is extremely charming and lovable and it's Bill Skarsgård, so you already know you're in trouble. So, you know, they do the whole like, oh, what do we do? And they decide, all right, well, she'll take the bedroom, he'll sleep on the couch, and tomorrow morning they're gonna work all this out with the Airbnb people, right? Well, of course, something happens in the middle of the night. She looks and she doesn't see, Bill Skarsgård anywhere, and so she wanders around. She finds herself in the basement, and wouldn't you know it, there's a secret room! And of course, she doesn't call the police, she doesn't do anything, she goes into said secret room, and I'm sure wackiness ensues. And, yeah, so I don't have a lot of high hopes for this film. I'm sorry, I just don't. The trailer just kind of makes it look like a very typical by-the-book kind of horror film, which, some people, I'm sure they're going to like it. I'm sure I'm going to be entertained either way. A run-of-the-mill typical horror film, I like those just as much as the really high-end cool stuff. So we're going to go see what this is. Okay, so enough sitting around listening to me yammer. Let's hit the road and check out Barbarian. Well, I was wrong about that movie. That movie was scary as shit. That movie was so damn frightening. Wow. Okay, Barbarian. Wow, where to begin? Okay. Alright, first off, let's just say Zach Cregger does an absolutely phenomenal job directing this film. This movie is very well put together, and it also has so many different elements in this film. This is a horror movie, yes, but there is a little dark humor just to kind of lighten things up a little bit. There's also a little drama. There's some other emotions that are pulled out of you in this film, and it's also extremely well shot. The cinematography in this film is so good, and every little detail about this film has been cared for and planned out. Very well structured, very well made film. The acting in this movie is also really spot on, very good. All of our three leads do an outstanding job in their performances. Georgina Campbell especially excels as our hero of the story. Bill Skarsgård is his charming self as also, and Justin Long is Justin Long. He's a pretty good versatile actor anyways. So the film itself is just very well constructed and extremely well made, and let me tell you guys, easily one of the scariest films I have seen in theaters in a long time. This film does not just rely on jump scares. There's plenty of good jump scares, but there's also a lot of slow growing tension and just an overall feeling of dread that goes throughout the entire film. This movie is just an all-around, balls to the wall, good, scary horror film. I will not be surprised if this film goes down in the history of classic horror cinema. I wouldn't be surprised in the least, because that's how good this movie is. This film is going to make fans with hardcore horror fans. It's going to make fans with people who aren't even horror fans, because it's just that well constructed of a film. And don't worry, it's not that artsy. It's a very keep it simple, stupid kind of film, but I don't mean that in a bad way. The premise and the story is very easy, but it's also very easy to fuck up, and this film does not drop the ball. It takes something simple and to the point and literally drives it into your eyeballs. This movie is so surprising, and that's why I'm trying my damnedest not to give you any kind of spoilers. Now, everything I said about the trailer is true. The trailer, in my opinion, does make you not want to see this movie. I think it was a very bad trailer, but at the same time, this movie shouldn't have a trailer. You need to know absolutely nothing going into this film. Don't know a damn thing. Don't watch any other reviews. Don't watch a spoiler review, at least. Don't know much about this film going into it. Now, here's the other good thing about that. Not only will you be surprised and scared out of your mind, this movie is so good that on a second viewing, you're still going to appreciate it just as much as the first time. You know, a lot of suspense, thriller, horror films and all, once you know the twisty-roo, the film just isn't that good anymore. You watch it and you're like, oh yeah, that's where the guy gets his head cut off and stuff like that. Oh yeah, this is where the kid, sticks her head out the window and knocks her head clean off of her noggin and all, that's what happens right here, and it doesn't have the edge it used to have. I don't see that happening with this film. I do not see this movie ever losing its edge or its fun. That's another thing too with a horror film. It doesn't have to just be scary, it also has to be fun, because why would I watch it a second time if it's not fun, if I don't enjoy it? And you know what? This film is one of those movies that you're gonna want to watch. This is, if you go see, and I haven't seen Halloween Ends yet, but I do believe that's going to be on streaming services too. I think it's going to be on the old Peacock. So I think I'm safe in saying this. If you only see one horror film in theaters this year, freaking see Barbarian. Okay, everybody, here it is, the time to give a big grade and let y'all know what I think of this film in some kind of fashion. All right, folks, here we go. I give this movie a solid A+. Yes, and that is not just because I'm a horror fan. This is an extremely well-crafted and well-made film that I truly believe needs to be seen in theaters to truly appreciate every aspect of this film. Okay guys, that's all I have for you here. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notification, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.